crazy, right? Like, how many people are going to TikTok for financial advice these days?
Yeah, especially Gen Z.
Scrolling through, it's all these like bite-sized videos,
Right.
relatable creators.
Yeah.
Everyone's promising like the secrets to easy money.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be appealing to people.
It is appealing.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's kind of part of the problem.
Right.
Like, on one hand, it's great that more young people are at least thinking about personal finance, right?
Yeah.
But there was a study that found that, like, 27% of social media users have actually fallen victim to bad financial advice.
Oh,
And Gen Z, they're 5 times more likely to rely on social media for guidance compared to,
Yeah.
older generation.
Right.
So yeah, that's a recipe for trouble.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what we're talking about here, right? It's FinTalk, this whole ecosystem of financial advice.
On TikTok, yeah.
But how much of it can we actually trust? We've all seen those videos, right? The ones that are like, become a day trading millionaire. Or like, turn $100 into $10,000 with this one crypto trick or whatever.
Yep, for sure.
And it's like, come on, that's hard to resist.
You know what's interesting to me is how those, like, the get-rich-quick schemes, it's like they really tap into, like, our deepest desires. It's like, we all want those shortcuts,
Yeah.
the instant gratification.
Who doesn't?
But, the thing is, building real financial security takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It takes effort.
Right.
It rarely happens overnight.
I know.
And that's the message that often gets drowned out on these platforms.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those clickbait headlines we see everywhere.
Yeah,
Designed to just grab your attention.
Yeah.
But they don't always give you the full picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, with TikTok specifically, the format, it's these super short videos.
Right.
And it's great for entertainment and stuff, but can they really convey, like, the complexities of investing or financial planning? You know what I mean?
It's a really valid concern.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the nuance gets lost in those 60-second clips.
Yeah.
And the bigger issue here is, how do you even know who's a legitimate expert on these platforms?
Right, exactly.
Like, anybody with a smartphone and, like, a little bit of charisma can just be like, I'm a financial guru.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Yeah.
Clout and going viral. Those things are more important than actual expertise or credentials.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you even tell who's legit and who's just like blowing smoke?
Right.
What should people like be looking out for?
If you connect this to the bigger picture, like,
Yeah.
this lack of regulation on social media is a huge problem.
Oh, for sure.
There's no real vetting process.
Uh-huh.
So it's really up to you to be incredibly discerning.
Huh.
Be wary of anyone promising, like, guaranteed returns or pushing some secret strategy.
If it sounds too good to be true,
Right.
it probably is.
You got it.
Yeah.
So it's like, we have to be detectives almost.
Yes.
Don't take anything at face value, right?
Exactly.
Investigate.
Look for red flags.
Okay.
Are they pushing specific products
Yeah.
that they might be getting paid to promote?
Mm-hmm.
Are they transparent about their background
Right.
and their qualifications?
Yeah.
This is where those resources we talked about come in,
Like what?
like the CFP board website,
Okay.
NRA's database,
Mm-hmm.
the SEC's advisor lookup.
Okay.
Those can really help you verify someone's credentials.
So check if they're a certified financial planner.
Right.
You can look that up on the CFP board site.
Yeah.
And then FineArray and the SEC, they have databases to check if they're, like, registered financial advisors.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
But what if someone IS certified,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still, like, pushing risk products
Right.
or strategies?
Credentials aren't foolproof, are they?
You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
Credentials alone aren't enough.
Okay.
You should always look for potential biases.
Like, how do you do that?
Ask yourself, are they incentivized to recommend this?
Hmm.
Who benefits if I follow this advice?
Yeah.
It's about understanding, like, the motivations behind the message.
It's like a whole new layer of critical thinking
Right.
you need to apply online.
Cool.
But you know what I was encouraging?
What's that?
There are some really amazing experts who are using these platforms to combat the misinformation.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like they're fighting fire with fire.
That's what's so fascinating about this whole landscape.
Yeah.
We're seeing people like Dr. Brad Klontz
Okay.
and Jessica Morehouse,
I've heard of them.
who are actively debunking those get-rich-quick schemes
Mm-hmm.
and just promoting financial literacy in general.
Yeah, I've seen some of their videos.
Oh, yeah.
They're really good at breaking down like those complex topics
Yeah.
in a way that's engaging and easy to understand.
Dr. Klontz, for example, he uses humor really effectively.
Oh, cool.
In one video, he debunks the myth of day trading
Okay.
by comparing it to playing roulette.
Okay.
He's like, sure, you might win a few spins, but in the long run, the house always wins.
Right.
He makes it really clear that consistent long-term investing is the way to go.
Yeah.
Not like risky bets.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about Jessica Morehouse?
Oh, she's all about financial literacy and scam awareness.
Okay.
I love how she doesn't shy away from tough topics,
Like what?
like the potential downsides of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, she keeps it real.
Right.
And that's just so refreshing in a space that can feel like super hyped up.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what's really admirable about her?
What's that?
She's very transparent about refusing sponsorships.
Oh, wow.
That could compromise her message. Like, she really wants to maintain her integrity
Yeah.
and prioritize education over pushing products, which is something we should all look for in any financial expert.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of platforms taking responsibility, it is encouraging to see some initiatives like
Yeah.
TikTok's hashtag Learn on TikTok,
Mm.
partnering with people like Dr. Klontz to promote educational content. That's great.
Yeah.
But is it enough?
That's a great question.
Like, these platforms are designed to keep us scrolling, to keep us engaged.
Yeah.
And that often means prioritizing viral content,
Yeah.
even if it's misleading, you know?
You raise a really, really important point.
Yeah,
It's a complex issue.
for sure.
And while these initiatives are definitely a positive sign,
Yeah.
I think platforms have a long way to go
Mhm.
when it comes to like curating responsible content,
Right.
actually protecting users from potentially harmful advice.
Yeah, it's like they're starting to realize they have a responsibility
Mm-hmm.
that goes beyond, like, just algorithms and engagement.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And I do think the emergence of more financial influencers with, like, legit backgrounds, like
yeah.
certified financial planners,
Right.
that's encouraging too.
It is.
It adds, like, a layer of accountability that's been, like, sorely missing.
Totally.
But, like, how do we as individuals navigate this, especially with all the conflicting advice flying around, you know?
Yeah. It really comes down to developing like your own BS detector, you know?
I love
Yeah.
a BS detector.
Yeah.
It's like we all need to become financial fact checkers.
Totally.
But, like, how do you even build that? Where do you start?
Well, like, remember, sustainable financial well-being, it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. It takes effort.
Right.
And a lot of times it takes, professional guidance.
Yeah.
Be wary of anyone who's promising like those quick riches or claiming to have like a secret formula.
Yeah.
That's usually a red flag.
So no magic bullets.
No magic bullets.
Got it. What else?
Don't fall into the trap of like one size fits all advice.
Right.
What works for one person, could be disastrous for another.
Yeah.
Your financial situation, your goals, your like risk tolerance, those are all unique to you.
Right.
So I think social media can be a good starting point
Yeah.
for like getting interested in personal finance,
Mm.
but it should never be your only source of information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a springboard. Right.
Precisely.
Do more research.
Think of it as a springboard for further research.
Yeah.
Read books, explore educational websites,
Mm.
maybe even like consult with a reputable financial advisor if
Yeah.
you need that, like personalized guidance.
This kind of ties back to something we talked about earlier,
What's that?
like diversifying your sources of information.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you would diversify your investment.
Exactly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket,
Right.
whether it's your investment portfolio or your sources of financial advice.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's like zoom out a little bit here
Okay.
and talk about the bigger like cultural forces that are at play here. Like, why are so many young people turning to social media for financial advice?
Right.
It seems like there's this like growing fascination with investing
Yeah.
and trading, but also like a lack of knowledge about how to do it safely.
It's a really complex phenomenon.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think, is just the accessibility of information. Look, thanks to, online brokerage apps,
Right.
anyone can buy and sell stocks now with
Yeah.
just like a few taps on their phone.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's become almost like a status symbol now
Right.
to talk about your investments,
Yeah.
brag about your gains, all that.
Totally.
Like, remember the GameStop short squeeze
Oh, yeah,
back in 2021?
of course.
That was like a prime example of how social media can drive investment decisions,
Yeah.
often with like really risky consequences.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
For those who might not be familiar,
Yeah.
a short squeeze, it happens when like a stock price jumps up really rapidly and it squeezes out investors who bet that the price would go down.
Right.
In the GameStop case, there was this like group of individual investors,
Yeah.
largely coordinated on social media, by the way.
Right. Exactly.
And they basically drove the price of the stock up astronomically.
It was crazy.
It caused huge EE losses for like hedge funds that had bet against the company.
Yeah, it was like this David versus Goliath battle
like
that
it.
everyone was like glued to.
Mm-hmm.
But it also highlighted like the potential for herd mentality
Yeah.
and like impulsive decision making
Yeah.
when you're investing based solely on social media hype.
Exactly. It showed how powerful social media can be in shaping like market trends.
Right.
But it also underscored the need for greater financial literacy.
Totally.
Like a lot of people jumped into that frenzy without fully understanding the risks or like the mechanics of what was happening.
It's like they were jumping into the deep end of the pool
Totally.
without knowing how to swim.
Yeah.
The enthusiasm was there,
Yeah.
but the understanding of like risk management and long-term investing strategies, it was missing.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And this is where like broader financial education becomes crucial. We need to empower younger generations to make informed decisions.
Right.
To understand the difference between like gambling
Yeah.
and investing and to recognize that building wealth, it's a marathon,
Right.
not a sprint.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Exactly.
So how do we bridge that knowledge gap? Should financial literacy be like a mandatory part of school curriculums?
Absolutely. I think like starting early
Yeah.
and providing young people with a solid foundation in personal finance is essential.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond the classroom too.
Right. You're thinking like the role of parents, mentors, even just having open conversations about money
Yes.
within families and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like normalizing conversations about finances. Teaching kids about, budgeting, saving, investing from a young age.
Right.
That can make a world of difference.
Right.
It's about changing like the culture around money.
Maybe we can take some inspiration from other fields.
Oh, like what?
Like the fitness industry, for example.
Okay.
Like we've learned to be more skeptical of, unqualified individuals promoting fad diets.
Right.
Or potentially harmful, like workout routines.
Yeah.
We've learned to question, to research, to seek out, like, credible sources.
Yeah, what's a brilliant parallel?
Yeah.
Just like in the fitness world, we need to develop that same like critical lens when it comes to financial advice.
Oh, really?
Don't just blindly follow the latest trend or the loudest voice on social media.
It's like, okay, so to recap here.
Yeah.
Social media, it has democratized access to financial information, which is great in theory.
In theory,
but
yeah.
it's a double-edged sword.
It is.
The ease of spreading misinformation just requires us to be extra cautious to do our research.
Yeah.
And remember that building genuine financial well-being, it takes time.
It does.
It takes effort.
Yeah.
There's no shortcuts.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And while there are like positive efforts being made to combat misinformation, to promote financial literacy,
Right.
the onus is still on each individual
Right.
to be an informed and discerning consumer.
This whole conversation's been about like being cautious, being critical,
Yeah.
but it's also about the positive potential, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like using these platforms to spread accurate information, to empower people, to take control of their finances.
Absolutely. It's about harnessing the power of social media for good. Imagine a world where like young people are like excited to learn about money.
Yeah.
They have access to credible resources, mentors online,
Yeah.
and they feel confident
Right.
making informed financial decisions.
That's an inspiring vision.
It is.
It feels like we're at a turning point where we could see some like real positive change.
Yeah.
But it's going to take like a collective effort.
It will.
Individuals, platforms, policymakers all working together.
I completely agree. The stakes are high.
Yeah.
Like the financial decisions we make today can have a ripple effect on our lives for years to come.
Totally.
It's not just about individual well-being.
Right.
It's about creating like a more equitable and just financial system
Mm.
where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
And that starts with ensuring that everyone has access to accurate
Yes.
and trustworthy information,
Yes,
regardless of like their background or socioeconomic status.
exactly. It's about leveling the playing field, giving everyone the tools and knowledge they need to make sound financial decisions.
For sure.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Like, what are some actionable steps
Right?
that our listeners can take
Mm-hmm.
to become more informed and responsible consumers
Yeah.
of financial advice online? It really boils down to like being proactive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Don't just passively consume information. Be critical.
Yeah.
Be curious. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right?
If something sounds too good to be true,
Yeah.
it probably is.
Right.
And remember, your financial journey,
Mm-hmm.
it's unique.
Well-
What works for someone else
Yeah.
might not work for you.
That's a good reminder. It's so easy to like get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, especially online,
Oh, yeah.
where it seems like everyone's flaunting their, successes.
Totally.
But we need to focus on like our own goals,
Yeah.
our own path,
Exactly. And that path should be paved with like reliable information.
Yeah.
That means diversifying your sources.
Okay.
Don't just rely on social media.
Yeah.
Read books by like respected authors.
Mm-hmm.
Check out educational websites from reputable organizations.
Yeah.
Consider consulting with a qualified financial advisor
Right.
for like personalized guidance.
That's like building a well-rounded financial library for yourself.
exactly.
And if something doesn't make sense, like don't be afraid to dig deeper, do more research,
Mhm.
seek clarification from like a trusted source.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your finances.
I love that. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Something we haven't really talked about much is the emotional side of money.
Oh, right.
We focused a lot on the like practical tips and strategies.
Yeah.
But our relationship with money is deeply personal
Mm-hmm.
and often, influenced by psychological factors.
It's true. We've all heard stories about like lottery winners who end up broke or people who like self-sabotage their financial success
Right.
because of like limiting beliefs or whatever.
It's crazy how much our mindset
Yeah.
and our emotions can impact our financial decisions.
It really is. And this is where the work of, someone like Dr. Brad Klontz
Yes,
is so valuable.
absolutely.
He doesn't just like debunk financial myths.
Yeah.
He helps people understand the psychology behind money, like how our past experiences
Yeah.
and beliefs
Uh-huh.
can shape our financial behavior.
Exactly. It's like financial therapy in a way.
Yeah.
Addressing those like underlying emotional patterns
Yeah.
that might be holding us back.
Yeah, and this is an aspect that like social media often glosses over.
Oh, totally.
It's all about the quick fix,
Right.
the allure of overnight riches.
yeah.
True financial well-being,
Mm-hmm.
it's about building a healthy relationship with money,
Exactly.
one that's like grounded in self-awareness
Yeah.
and mindful decision-making.
Absolutely.
It's a journey, not a destination.
I love that. It's a journey, not a destination.
It really is.
And this brings us back to like, how can we contribute to a more responsible financial landscape online?
Yep.
It's about like promoting this more holistic view
Okay.
of financial well-being,
Mhm.
one that acknowledges, the emotional, the psychological aspects,
Yeah.
not just the practical ones.
So it's not just about like sharing tips and tricks. It's
Okay.
about fostering conversations about like our money mindsets,
Yeah,
our fears, our aspirations,
totally.
creating a space where people feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
sharing their struggles,
Yeah,
learning from each other's experiences.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's about like being mindful of
Yeah.
the content we consume and share online. Let's amplify the voices of those who are promoting like financial literacy,
Yeah.
emotional well-being, not just like the hype and sensationalism.
So to wrap up, I guess our little chat here today,
Our deep dive.
yeah, it's critical to be informed,
Mm-hmm.
to be proactive,
Yeah.
and to be like an advocate for your own financial well-being.
Yes.
Don't fall for quick fixes,
Right.
easy promises.
Yeah.
Invest in your financial knowledge.
Mm.
Seek guidance when you need it.
Yeah.
And remember that building a secure future, it takes time.
It does.
It takes effort
Uh-huh.
and a healthy dose of self-awareness.
Well said.
Yeah,
It's been an enlightening conversation.
it has.
And I hope our listeners have found it valuable.
Me too.
Remember, the journey to financial empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
it starts with a single step.
Yeah.
Take that step today.
Love it.
Keep learning, keep growing,
Yeah.
and keep striving toward your financial goals.
That's a great note to end on,
Yeah.
all our listeners out there.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us on this, little exploration
Yeah.
into the world of FinTalk and beyond.
Absolutely.
Remember, knowledge is power.
It is.
And with the right information
Yeah.
and mindset, you can achieve your financial dreams.
I believe that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for chatting with me.
Thanks for having me.